Well done, Maxine. Okie dokie. All right, terrific. Okay, everybody. So welcome to Sunday morning AM. That's redundant. Sunday morning yoga church. And today we are rolling through a back bendy slow flow. Hey, brother. Tardy. We'll talk after class, put you in detention. A back bendy slow flow. And I would like for you to have 2 blocks and a strap. And how we're going to get this party started is in a supported fish pose. So when we come into this, as we wind our way into this back bendy action today, we need to think of a couple, well, there's a lot of things going on in the body, of course, but one is expanding the chest, the anterior chest, so the pectoralis muscles, the muscles between the ribs, the intercostal muscles, the deltoids, the anterior deltoids need to broaden. So we need to think about one emphasis is taking our thoracic spine, which curves this way, right? I'm exaggerating, but this is the natural curve of the thoracic spine. We're actually going to coax it into this kind of a curve. So think cobra, right? Really getting into that extension in the upper back. So that's one area that we need to address. Another area for back bending is lengthening through the lateral lines. So the latissimus, the serratus anterior, the triceps, all of this needs to get long as well. Also, we need to open the hip flexors. So the muscles along the front of the thighs that are responsible for lifting the leg and extending the hip, taking the leg back. So there's so much more going on in a back bend than just spinal extension. I mean, there's all these moving parts that play a significant role. So to begin, we're going to focus on the extension of the thoracic spine. By that, I mean a little back bend in the upper body. We're going to do this in supported fish. So starting low and then moving up as you deem fit, you'll take 1 block behind you on its second height. Your second block just in front of that one on its lowest height. If you don't have 2 blocks, just use one, this one right here, and put a pillow or a rolled up blanket as your head block. Keeping your knees bent and your feet on the floor, come down to your elbows just to address where this upper back block is going to land. Yeah, so you want it to start right about bra line. And then support your thoracic spine up to your shoulders. Arms can just drop out to your sides, the soft bend to your elbows. And we're going to stay in this shape for about 2.5 minutes. Slowly coaxing open the muscles along the front of our chest. Good. You can explore extending your legs down the length of the mat if you like, not a mandatory part of the shape. The emphasis is on the upper body. How about taking your arms straight up to the ceiling, palms facing one another, and let's pause here long enough to drop your upper arm bones deeper into the shoulder girdle. Take your upper arm bones and drop them in. And then from here, slowly take your arms over your head, reaching your thumbs towards the floor behind you. And they may not get there, and that's totally legal. Just a big stretch. Reach through your pinky fingers to the wall, but beyond your head. And then draw your belly in slightly. And let that action draw your low ribs in. Good. And then reach out through your lateral side. So reach out through your ribs, arms, pinky fingers again. Good. Let's take 2 more breaths. Great. And slowly lift your arms up and float them down to your sides. The blood flow into your fingertips. Great. Bend your knees, please. Set your feet to the floor if they're not already. Good. So a couple of ways you can exit out of this. If you've got your block on its low height, it might not be that big of a deal to just roll to one side and come off. But what I like to do is bring my hands behind my head and draw my elbows forward and then lift my head up off the block first. Then I can bring one arm down to the floor and roll to one side and come up. Take your time. A lot going on in the thoracic spine, and that shape that the thoracic spine is not quite used to yet at this hour in the morning. At this point, we're going to come into virasana. That's sitting on our knees and shins. If your knees don't approve of this morning, or your ankles are like not going to have it, just sit in a shape that's good for you. If you're in virasana, I would ask you to come onto a block. Have your strap nearby, please. We'll come to it in just a moment. Good, but for now, once you get into virasana, I'll have you bring your hands to your lower ribs. So the tips of your index fingers touch very softly. And we'll take 3 deep breaths. And when you breathe in, your ribs expand. Not your index fingers, your middle fingers, middle fingers touch. Your middle fingers will draw apart. And then on the exhale, just like an accordion, they'll slowly come back together. Make 2 more breaths. Hands softly resting on your ribs. And you'll slide your hands to your side ribs. And pulling your breath into your lateral lungs. Broadening your ribs. Softly pressing your ribs into your hands. 3 breaths. You'll then send your hands to your back ribs. So once again, your middle fingers touch just at your spine. Breathing deeply into your back body. This requires a fairly significant internal rotation in your shoulders, and shoulders might not want to go there yet this morning, and that's fine. You can keep your hands at your side ribs. But direct the traffic of your breath, direct the prana of your breath into your back. When you finish your 3 breaths with your hands at your back, just bring your arms down, rest your hands on your lap, and let's just take 3 breaths, eyes closed. And breathing fully into your trunk. Inviting your breath to expand front, out to the side, into the back, even medially. Like you can visualize your lungs internally pressing inward towards your sternum as you inhale. And softly deflecting away as you exhale. Very nice. Good. Nice transition. So now we're going to grab our strap. If you're sitting in something other than Virasana, so if you're sitting cross-legged, you might change the cross of your legs at this point. But everybody else, while you're in Virasana, I'm going to have you lift your right knee up and set your right foot to the floor. So you're in half Virasana, right? This would be Ardha Virasana. Right knee up, right foot to the floor. Draw your right heel in towards your block. Good. And then take your strap into your left hand. Take your left arm up overhead. So the strap is draping behind you. Bend your elbow. You'll take your right arm out to the right. Internally rotate your right arm first. Then bend your right elbow. Bring your right hand to your low back. Find the strap, and your right hand's going to do the walking. Good. Only walk your right hand up as high as it will allow to keep your head up. Chin parallel to the floor. Great. Draw both of your elbows towards the midline. Excellent. Good. We have an internal rotation in the right arm, and we have an external rotation in the left. So if you'll bring your awareness to your outer left arm, imagine that you could wrap it towards your left ear. That makes sense. Head up, brother. All right. Right hand comes out first. Slowly let the right hand slide down your strap. Ooh, and then bring your right shoulder back to neutral. Left arm goes up and floats down. Drop your strap. Good. Right fingertips to the floor just beyond your right hip. Sweep your left arm up to the ceiling and side bend over to the right. Use your right fingertips to push your body into your left sitting bone. Great. Lift your sternum away from your navel. Take your head back slightly. Great. Good. And then slowly come back up. Left arm to vertical. Now you're going to twist to the right. Bring your left hand to the outside of your right knee. Roll your right shoulder back. And you can bring your right fingertips to the floor behind you, or you've got a block back there. When I've practiced this sequence, I like to put my hand on the block. Right hand to the block. Get a little leverage there, like push into the block, lift your spine. And then you can start rotating your ribs to the right. Turn your sternum to the right. Wrap your left rib basket around into the sternum. Excellent. Unwind yourself, please. And we'll change sides. So you'll bring your right knee down into Virasana again. Pick your left knee up, set your left foot to the floor. Ardha Virasana. Good. Now grab your strap. Strap in your right hand. Right arm goes up. Bending your elbow. Left arm comes out to the left. Internally rotate left arm. Then bend your left elbow. Bring your left hand to the strap. And let your left hand begin walking up towards your right hand, noticing the differences between this side and the previous side. Where do you find more resistance? Where do you find more challenge? Where do you find more mobility or range of motion in your shoulder joints? Good. Elbows into the midline. And now the right arm is in external rotation. So taking your awareness to the outside line of your right arm and imagining you could wrap it in towards your right ear. Great. Let your left hand slide down the strap until you can release your left arm. Bring your left shoulder into a neutral position, fingertips to the floor. Right arm floats up to vertical and gently finds its way down to your side. So you can drop the strap. Side bending is next. Right arm up. Reaching over your right ear, side bending to the left and using your left fingertips to give yourself a little nudge. So you stay firm and heavy on your right sitting bone, firm and heavy into your right hip. And now we will twist, breathing in, lift up, and then spin to the left as you breathe out. Right hand to the outside of your left knee. Walk your left hand behind you. Left hand can settle onto a block. Yeah, great, Delinda. I like that variation. Okay, let's unravel from the twist, come back to center. Whew. Good, and find your way to hands and knees. Slide your blocks up to the top of your sticky mat. And once you make your way into hands and knees, tabletop, just come into 3 rounds of cat-cow. Just move with your breath as you get there. Let your breath start initiating the movement in your body, arching as you inhale. Finding that cobra back bend in your upper back, and then rounding as you exhale. 3 times. Great. And now we'll spice it up a little bit with a gentle flow, coming into the cow shape of the cat-cow. So that's the in-breath when you arch your back, look forward. When you exhale, you'll simply drop into child's pose, balasana, hips to heels. You're going to glide forward to staff on the next in-breath, Adho Mukha Dandasana, downward facing staff. And then dog pose as you exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And we'll do that 2 more times. Breathing in, hands and knees, looking forward. Drawing your shoulder blades down towards your back pockets. And child's pose, exhaling, lengthening your spine, letting your shoulders relax and drip towards the floor. Good. Staff on the in-breath, unpacking your joints. Good. Finding that strength in your shoulders and through the anterior line of your body. Downward dog as you exhale. Great. We'll do that one more time on your own. Great. And then we'll land on our hands and knees and prep for what's called bird dog, or I like to call it spinal balancing. From hands and knees, you'll just take your right leg straight back, lifting your foot up off the floor, right leg straight back. Find your balance first, bring your left fingertips to the mat, and then if it works for you today, take your left arm forward. 3 breaths, breathing in. Breathing out, eyes stay focused on a point, belly stays firm. Inhale and exhale. Great. And we'll just change sides. Bring your left hand down. Float your left leg back. Good. And then we can get off the right wrist. If it works for you, taking your right arm forward, 3 breaths. Very nice. Good. Right hand down, left knee down, and we'll find downward facing dog. We just completed the warm up. Now we'll commence our standing sequence. Dun, dun, dun. I'll have you take your right foot forward. Take as many steps up there as you'd like. Good. And then spin your left heel down and give yourself a quarter turn to the left. So we come into wide-legged forward bend. And we'll do lateral lunges 2 times. First, go into your left knee and left hip just to the degree that it's comfortable for you, and you get a decent stretch through the inseam of your right leg. And then glide across the center, giving yourself a soft bend into your right knee, right hip. Again, just to the degree that it's appropriate, finding that stretch along the inner left leg. And then one more time from side to side. Good. When you come back into your right knee, you'll take your right toes forward, come up onto the ball of your back foot, and settle your left knee down onto the mat. We're going to stay for 5 breaths in this low lunge. And I would invite you to walk your right foot over to the right edge of your sticky mat. Bring your right arm to the inside of your right leg. I think this is a great place to use a block personally. So you can set a block onto your mat, both of your hands to the edges of the block. And we begin addressing the left hip flexors. Excellent. Set your block to the side if you're using it, and slowly make your way to downward dog or hands and knees. Your call, yogi's choice. Notice what you feel in your left hip crease after that big stretch. It's all about time and temperature. Slowly opening up the body, prepping it for the back bends to come. Take your left foot forward. Spin your right heel down, and here we go. Lateral lunges. Take a quarter turn to the right, bend into your right knee, flex into your right hip. Glide through the center, over to the left, one more time from side to side. When you get back into your left knee, left hip, you'll spin your left toes to the top of the sticky mat, come up onto the ball of your right foot, and then place your right knee down to the mat. With a block underneath your hands, you can walk your left foot to the left just a step or two and settle into this low lunge. While the emphasis in this shape is primarily on the right hip flexors, the front of your right hip and your quadriceps, I'd also encourage you to draw your shoulders back, allow your sternum to beam forward, just inching your way towards a little bit more extension in your upper back, a little bit more of a, I hate to say back bend, but just think about cobra action in your upper back. Excellent. Set your block to the side. Hands come to the sticky mat. Pick your right knee up and you're ready to step your left foot back to downward dog, or maybe take a break in child's pose for a couple of breaths. You can hang in dog pose, or if you'd like, come forward to staff. Let's warm up our back muscles a little bit more. Lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Let's do 3 rounds of Shalabhasana. So it's locust pose. Bring your arms to your sides. And we're going to go with the breath. So as you inhale, lift as much of your body off the floor as you can. And when you exhale, let yourself come to the mat again. And then twice more. Inhale, lift, legs are straight, float your feet up, legs up, head up, chest up. And exhale back down. Good. Last time. Inhale, rise up. Let's stay for 2 more breaths. Reach your fingertips to your heels. That's it, Kathy. Great. And then lower down. Woo, good. Slide your hands under your shoulders and find your way to downward dog, taking whatever detours you like, whatever route you like. Good. So from either down dog or tabletop, this time I'm going to have you float your right heel to the ceiling. Good. Keep your hips square for me. Good. Straighten your right leg. And as you lift your right heel up, invite your left heel to drop down towards the floor. Good. Great. Let's step your right foot forward, as many steps as you like. And spin your back heel down. I'm going to have you pick up your block and slowly come up into Warrior 2 with your block in your front hand, block in your right hand. This is your in-breath. When you exhale, sweep your left arm forward, grab the block, and then inhale, bring the block with you as you open your left arm to the left. Good. Exhale, bring the block forward, right hand grabs the block. Inhale, left arm floats back, empty-handed. Good. One more time, just like that. Exhale, left arm sweeps forward, grab the block. Inhale, left arm opens up with the block. Exhale, left arm forward, place the block into your right hand. And inhale, open your left arm. Beautiful. Good. So sweep your left arm forward. Take the block in both hands. Put the block up over your head. Now, hugging your elbows to the midline, bend your elbows and bring the block to the back of your head. Find a spot where the block and the head can connect, blockhead asana. And then press your head into the block, but resist. Good, keep your elbows hugging towards the midline, like you've got a volleyball between your elbows. Good, turn your chest forward, take your sternum to the right. Good, let's go 2 more breaths. Head back. Great, and lift your block straight up. Take your block into your left hand and set your block to the floor. Come up onto the ball of your left foot, set your left knee to the sticky mat. So door number 1, right hand to your right knee, turn your sternum to the right, okay? Door number 2, kick your left heel up, reach back with your right hand, and either with your hand or with your strap, loop the strap around the ball of your left foot and find even perhaps deeper stretch through your left quadriceps. Keeping your hand to your knee might provide plenty. So pause where it's appropriate, no force, no pressure. Good. That's great. So let go of your foot and bring both hands to the floor. So slide your block to the side and find your way back to your neutral pose, whether that's downward dog, tabletop, or child's pose. Just, take a breath. Good, and we will prep for the second side, taking your left heel to the ceiling. Keeping your hips square. That's it, good, Maxine, nice adjustment. Good, right heel down, left heel up. Nice, and step forward. Good, so same drill, second side, spin your right heel down. And then lift yourself up into warrior 2. With your block in your left hand. Good, exhale, bring your right arm forward, grab the block. Inhale, open into Vira 2. Exhale, bring the block forward, right hand grabs the block. Inhale, open Vira 2. Good. One more time. Left arm forward. So we're working the muscles and the tissues around the thoracic spine. Good. Last time, warrior 2 with the block in your left hand. Beautiful. Good. Now you'll bring your right arm forward. Take a hold of your block with both hands. And I want you to turn your sternum, turn your ribs to the left so you're facing the top of your sticky mat as best you can. Arms come up overhead, keeping your elbows snugged in tight. Bend your elbows, bring the block to the back of your head. And then here we go. Look up towards the ceiling as you drop your head into the block. But I want you to resist a little bit. Press the block into your head. Find that little tug of war. Good, elbows come in. Good. Good, good, good. Good, this is that external rotation in the upper arms. Lengthening through your lateral lines. Yeah, big stretch through the serratus anterior and all the good stuff on the sides of your body. Let's go one more breath, head back. Good, and then lift your arms straight up. You take the block into your right hand and bring the block to the floor. Bring your left hand to your left knee. Remember your options. Just take it one step at a time, right? Right knee comes down to the mat. Left hand to left knee. Give yourself a little twist to the left. Feels good. Yeah, either stay there or kick it up a notch. Bring your right heel up. Reach back with your left hand. Grab a hold of your right foot or ankle, or maybe your pant leg. And just another version of the twist. I like the way you're being tender on that knee, Delinda. Lots of good, lots of good modifications there. Mm-hmm. Okie dokie. If you've got your foot, let it go slowly. Okay, downward dog or child's pose or hands and knees. Find your little rest stop for a moment. Great. Okay, so I want you to come to your knees long enough to find your strap and make a loop with your strap, a small tight loop. I'm sorry, what did you say? All right, once you have your small tight loop, then set your strap down to the right side of your mat. Come all the way down to your belly. Okay. You're gonna place your left hand on the mat in front of you, left forearm and hand on the mat in front of you. Kick your right foot up. Take your loop with your right hand and loop it over the top of your right foot. Okay. You're going to keep the strap in your right hand as you turn your head and your chest to the front of your mat again. Good. Now here's the fun part. Bring your forehead down, and then your left hand comes up and matches hands. So left hand, right hand, both on the strap. Walk your hands down towards your foot. They're not going to go very far. Trust me, and that's okay. Your right knee might start popping up off the floor. That's okay. And then get a good grip on the strap with both hands, elbows in, and then begin to kick your right foot up and back. And let that action lift your head, chest, and arms up off the floor. Now your left leg is down, left foot's on the floor. And the action is in your right foot. Kick, 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 kick up, kick back. And it's that action that's going to lift your upper body off the floor. Great, good. Good, let's go one more breath. Kick, 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 kick. Nice. And release slowly. Whew, let the strap slide through your hands. Good, lift up onto your left arm once again so you can give a little turn to your right. Release the strap from your right foot. And we'll do the other side. As you want to get up onto your hands and knees, just whatever you take this transition, do it safely, slowly. And then with your right arm across the top of your sticky mat, bend your left knee, kick your left heel up behind you, take the strap, the loop over the top of your left foot, and then your left hand has the strap. Good. Bring your right hand up and over your head. Both hands begin to walk down the strap towards your foot. The whole idea, though, is to keep the elbows in. Good. And then when you've reached your threshold and you just can't walk your hands anymore, now kick your left foot into the loop. Kick, kick, kick. And that'll lift your head and chest up. Good. Yep, you got it, Maxine. That's great. Good. Okay, nice. Good. Delinda, brother, where are you? Let's see. Good. Kick, kick, kick. One more breath. Excellent. Let the strap slide through your hands. Bring your left foot to the floor. Great. And then just bring your forehead down. Turn your head to the right. Great. Turn your head to the left. Excellent. Bring your forehead to the floor once more and your hands underneath your shoulders, and find your way to downward dog or tabletop. We're going to do one more low lunge and then call it a day. Good. Sweep your right leg up. Roll your right hip back as you bend your right knee. Bringing your right heel towards your left shoulder. Good. Just one full breath cycle. Nice. And then square your hips as you re-extend your right leg and step your right foot forward, taking as many steps up towards the top of your mat as you'd like. Settle your left knee down to the mat. Okay, so grab your strap. Bring your strap into your left hand. And then set both hands, one on top of the other, onto your right knee. Okay, so this is door number one. Nice deep stretch through your left hip flexors. Okay. Door number two is going to require some balance. So this is your setup for Natrajasana. For those of you who like to teach, this is how we would slowly make our way towards that balancing pose. We're not going to do that today because this is going to challenge our balance enough right here. Because what happens next is, guessed it, we're going to kick our left heel up. We'll reach back with the left hand and put the loop around the top of the left foot. Oh, is this familiar? Yeah, we just did this when we were on our bellies. Now we're doing it in a low lunge. Requires balance. So this, when you practice this throughout the week, which I'm sure you all will do with the video, do this next to a wall so you can steady yourself with your right hand against a wall. And this can be door number two. Okay, right hand to the wall, left hand to the strap. Door number three is to bring your right arm up and over your head, match hands on the strap and let your hands start to walk down towards your foot, hug your elbows in, and then boom, kick your foot into the strap and let that do the action of taking your arms further back. It's not easy. It's not easy, but let's stay for 3 breaths. Do the best you can. Yep, nice to have Sophie there helping out. Beautiful. Let's go one more breath. The more you kick, the more you're going to get that extension through your upper back. And then let go of the strap. Let your foot come down. Hands come down. Great. And before we just pop out of this, because there's no popping out of this, just pause for a moment with your fingertips to the floor. Let the muscles that support your spine, particularly along your back, your lumbar especially, just find their right place in the body once again. Then we can lift the left knee up and either step back to tabletop or downward facing dog. Oh. And let's go right into the other side. Take your left leg up. Draw the hip back, bend your knee. Just one full complete breath in and out. And then squaring your hips, straightening your left leg, stepping forward. Couple of steps, take your time. Right knee comes down. Okay, let's go through the options once more. Fingertips to the floor. Option 1. Hands to your left knee, lifting yourself up. Option 2. That actually feels all right. Option 3 requires balance. Balance and coordination. So you got to work on it. Left hand can come to a wall. Kick your right foot up, loop the strap, maybe over your right foot. Right hand takes the strap. Trunk turns forward to the front of the mat, eyes looking beyond the front of the mat. Left fingertips can be at the wall for support, or left arm comes up overhead. Both hands walk down the strap, and then boom, kick, 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 kick. Oh. Elbows stay in, elbows hug in towards the head. Good, let's go one more breath. Nice. Great, Kathy. Good. Slowly loosen your grip on the strap. Let your foot come down. Bring your hands to the floor. And let's take a couple of breaths in a low lunge. Letting the back muscles find a little ease. No sudden moves. There you go. So that's your prep for the dancer pose, right? Not the Rajasana. Maybe we'll do that in the next couple of weeks. Okay. Make your way to child's pose, please. Bring your arms around to your sides and let your shoulders just kind of jump over, round over. Let yourself hunch. Move your mandible, your lower jaw back and forth a few times. It's a slow class, but not an easy class. So bravo to each of you. Hard stuff to work on there. Excellent. Gonna have you roll yourself upright and have a seat on your bum. With your knees bent on the feet, your feet on the floor in front of you. Your hands behind your thighs. Back strong and long. Ears, shoulders, and hips in the same plane, even when you lean back just a little bit, just to the back side of your sit bones. Flex your feet for me, please. And then lift your feet up off the floor and see if you can bring your ankles in line with your knees, in the same plane as your knees. Good. And then stay put right here or release your hands and take your arms forward, coming into Navasana, boat pose. Good. And then one more option. You can wrap your peace fingers around your big toes and straighten your legs. Take your legs straight up, bringing your legs together. You got to balance. Kind of rock forward, rock back. Find that middle space. Let's take one more breath in whatever variation you're choosing today. Nice. And then bend your knees, set your feet to the floor. Bring the insteps of your feet together. Now you can drop your knees out to the sides. And I'd like to offer the option of setting a block underneath your outer knees, coming into Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Just holding on to your ankles with each hand or your shins with each hand. And sitting upright. Good. Now, if it suits you, on your next exhale, you can begin to hinge forward at your hips and turn this into a forward bend. Bringing your hands around your feet. Maybe your hands can clasp, your fingers can clasp around your toes. You can bend your elbows and draw your sternum towards your feet. Shoulders back, neck is long. Slowly rise up. Placing one hand to the outside of each knee, draw your knees together. Roll onto your back for reclining pigeon. Bring your right ankle to the top of your left knee. And either loop your strap around the back of your left thigh or clasp your hands, your fingers together around the back of your left thigh. Choose the method that will allow you to keep your shoulders on the floor. Let's change sides. Bring both knees to your chest. Let your knees rock over to the left. Take your arms out to the sides. And sweep your knees up through center and take your knees to the right. Take your legs in whatever shape you like. If you want to keep your knees stacked or cross one leg over the other, whatever's going to feel best on your lower back. And come back up to center, once more hugging your knees towards your chest, and lift your head and your shoulders up. Bring your forehead towards your knees. Just roll yourself up into a little ball. The exact opposite of what we've been doing all morning, of this opening and extending through the spine and opening the front of the body, now rounding and lengthening the posterior. Great. And then bringing your shoulders and head to the floor, take your legs straight up to the ceiling for Supta Dandasana. One more last opportunity to broaden and release the muscles and the connective tissues of fascia along your spine, in particular your lower back. Great. Excellent. Bring your feet to the floor and come up into a seated shape that works for you. If you want to sit on a chair, that's fine. Let's do a little bit of pranayama, and then we'll finish up class in either shavasana or seated meditation. Your call. Good time to get your fuzzy socks on, grab a ski cap, or throw a jacket on or a blanket over you. And we'll begin with 2 rounds of Kapalabhati, the skull shining breath. We'll do 2 rounds of, let's take it up to 30. We've been doing 2 rounds of 25 the last few weeks. Take it up to 30. And then we'll follow that with, I don't know, 3 or 5 rounds of Brahmari. I'll watch the time and see what time permits. Okie dokie. Good. Everybody's good. Great. So sitting tall, hands down on your lap. And to begin, we'll exhale whatever is currently living in our lungs. And then we'll start with a full respiration, inhaling deeply through the nose. Exhaling completely from the nose. It's kind of clearing the slate. And then we'll begin by taking an in-breath about 2/3 of our capacity. And for 30, here we go. Good. Exhale whatever's remaining in your lungs. And then a deep breath in. Exhaling. Good. Round 2, breathing in. And the action is right here. Exhale. Pumping out the exhalations. Good. Exhale whatever remains. Full breath in. Complete breath out. At the bottom of the exhale, I'm going to ask you to hold your breath out as long as it's comfortable to do so. Your body's going to tell you when to breathe in, and definitely pay attention to that. Okay, a couple of breaths in between. And then we'll prep for Brahmari. Tongue goes up to the roof of your mouth. The in-breath is through the nose, head lifts. The exhale, chin drops to the chest, and it's a hum. All the while, the ears are being plugged by your fingers 3 times, just 3 rounds. As you finish up, moving as little as possible, either stay put for meditation, you're going to take about 7 minutes, or roll onto your back and find the Shavasana shape of your choice. Moving gently, slowly, so as to not aggravate the prana that we've just settled with the Brahmari breathing. Slowly begin to take your head from side to side, looking right and left if you're lying down, or simply taking one ear over the shoulder at a time if you're sitting up. Begin to move your fingers, move your toes. Good. And pull one knee at a time, either up into your chest or grab them both and let yourself rock a little. Bring yourself upright if you've been lying down. Of course, if you'd like to stay in Shavasana for another extended period of time, 10 minutes or more, please do so. Otherwise, up you go. And placing your palms together, let's bring the base of our thumbs to the third eye. And it's taking a moment to silently express gratitude for the ability to get on our mats today in community. Bring your fingertips to your lips. Taking a moment to express gratitude for the ways in which our body can move on this day. The opportunity to block out time to explore movement, breath, and the mind, and how it reacts to our movement or lack of and breath. And bring your hands to your heart in a silent nod of gratitude for the people in our life or our community that make this 75-minute block of time doable. Great. Thank you so much for joining me and the others on the screen. Have a wonderful Sunday.